Welcome back everybody then to the Haas Fire Mod playthrough, the American Dream. And some much needed points last time out from Grosjean then, with a cracking 8th place. We've still got quite a big gap to the rest of the field, but luckily from McLaren down to Williams it's all bunched up. Only 8 points between those teams, and we're only 13 points off McLaren. So if we continue to improve the car, and once this HQ is built, which will be done in 5 weeks' time, then hopefully we can start catching up that main midfield and maybe even start outscoring them. So I'm still targeting potentially 5th, but you know, 9th is the minimum. This is a building season, getting to learn the mod and the game, and we'll go forward from there. We've got one driver to add then to the scouting list mentioned in the comments. That was Lando Norris, and I think that's a good idea. We'll scout him and see how it comes back. I don't know yet what we're going to do. There he is. So we'll scout him up. He's obviously still quite a youngster, so it'll probably be for the reserve role him. But pit crew went pretty well last time. Let's do that before we forget, actually. So they're all looking fairly good. I think we can probably swap Aman for summer skill. And Forrest is pretty low. He was put in for his stamina last time. Have we got a better tyres guy? Yeah, Goldwave. We'll lose a little bit of stamina, but he should be a better tyre changer. So we'll go for him. And I think that will be that, and we'll carry on then. Car repair's done. So we had gone pretty heavily to reliability. I think we'll switch it back a couple of points towards performance, and we'll switch these brakes now to the new rear wing, and we'll go for performance on those 2 rear wings as well. It's just edging forward really until we get that new factory, and once we do that we should be able to get parts at a quicker rate. I've still got half a mind on how much we need for next year. Obviously we don't know, so we might end up over saving, but that just means we'll have more money to spend on the car next year. We've got some media training for Roman. You know, that's I don't think they quite realise how adequate that is for Roman Grosjean. What's that going to do? It will add personality trait media trained. I presume that will improve his marketability. What is it at the moment? 70%. I don't feel it would be enough of a benefit to spend the money on that, so we'll give that a pass. So yeah, as I was saying, I don't know with drivers at the moment whether we're going to be going for an established #1 driver to put in for a couple of seasons instead of Roman or Kevin. It's probably going to be Roman, as we've already established. I'm not allowed to go for anybody else. Or get rid of him even. Or face the wrath of you, my subscribers. Fair enough. Normally I wouldn't bow to that pressure, but we've had no one saying it about Grosjean, so hey. But I think we might put an established #1 in for Grosjean and get a good young driver in as the reserve, and then see how they train up. But as to who that will be, I don't know yet. We'll have to see. So we've got a scouting report back on Carlos Sainz. So Carlos would be a pretty good driver as a #1 to replace Roman, and I would expect him to improve from there. Obviously the only minus is his marketability, which is a bit of an issue, but he's definitely on the list as a possible. And then George Russell, the youngster, doesn't look great at the moment. Obviously he's got the potential of making big improvements. His marketability is pretty low as well, but that doesn't necessarily matter for a reserve right now, but it will matter when we put them in the car. So I think we can find someone better than Russell for that reserve slot, but we'll keep searching anyway. And we're ready for the race then. So I'm going to go, once again, 6 sets of soft and then mediums and 3 sets of hards. I don't think we have a sponsor objective. We don't. And then parts. Don't think those. One of the rear wings is ready. Only a 3% drop from our normal parts, so we'll definitely go for that. And just to keep you guys happy, we shall give Kevin the new part for sure. So that's everything. We'll hopefully have that other rear wing ready for next time. We've got some heavy rain in practice and the race, which should, you know, we're normally pretty good in the wet, so hopefully we can have a good race here. So as per usual, I shall get practice underway and be back with you for qualifying. Okay, we're into qualifying then. A pretty interesting practice session. We had about 10-12 minutes of rain at the beginning of it, so we got a couple of levels of intermediate running in terms of the unlocks, whatever you call them. And we got some good running on the medium tyres and maxed out race trim and qualifying trim as well. So whatever the race throws at us, hopefully we've got the tools to deal with it. As for qualifying, once again, we'll be trying to get both cars into the top 10. We seem to be qualifying this year a lot better than we managed to race. So I'm hoping once again they can improve. It'll be interesting again to see if Magnussen gets anywhere near Grosjean. Of course, Grosjean got that super overtake mode, but Magnussen does have the better car for this weekend. So I'd like to see Magnussen out-qualify Grosjean. He needs to start putting some results on the board if he is going to be our preferred driver going forward. But we cross the line then, and there's 3 tenths in it. Once again, Grosjean has that little edge. Now, I don't know how powerful that super overtake mode is, so that might be the difference between our two drivers each race, but still quite a large gap between the pair of them. Just over 3 tenths. So we will send them out again, of course, at the end of the session. I don't think there's going to be any rain in qualifying, no. But there is rain forecast for the race, which should make things interesting. Once again, Grosjean looking like he might be on the edge of the top 10. Magnussen is 12th after it all shakes out. Grosjean 8th then. So we'll want to see an improvement from Magnussen. We want to see an improvement from both of them, to be honest. It's quite a long lap round here, so let's not leave it too long. Strap on a new set of soft tyres and send Grosjean on his way. Try and gap them out a little bit more this time. They're a bit close together, and that could have affected Magnussen as well. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, I just want to see Magnussen closer. I don't... Looking at his stats and that super overtake mode, I'm not expecting Magnussen to necessarily out-qualify Grosjean each time, but he needs to be a bit closer. 3 tenths of a second in Formula 1 in identical cars is a long way. And this grid's definitely a bit more spread out than what we've got at the moment in the standard Motorsport Manager playthrough. So we'll see. Let's see how they do, shall we? Track is at its best right now, so they've got no excuses. Magnussen's got this sweet spot as well, which should help him out. So he's got great and good on the tyres and the brake temps. So here we go. I mean, looking at Grosjean, there's only a tenth of a second up to 5th. So if he nails his lap, he's got a lot of traffic. I don't know if this traffic actually affects qualifying laps how it should. They never seem to really lose time when they're in traffic, even though they should. But Grosjean will be the first to cross the line then. And he doesn't find an improvement. So can K-Mag. He improves by a couple of attempts. I'm happy with that. So he's only just about 10th and a half off his teammate, and that's what I'm talking about. He needs to be closer. Unfortunately, Grosjean couldn't find that improvement he needed. That may well be because of traffic. If anyone's got any experience of the traffic and whether it affects the drivers in qualifying, do let me know. Because maybe we need to be a bit more careful where we're sending the guys out on track. Because I just sort of send them out willy-nilly, really. And that might not be the best thing to do. So it's 11th and 13th. We can definitely race from there. And there's going to be some rain at some point. If not from the beginning. No rain at the beginning. But there is rain forecast. So that will be our chance, as per usual. So we'll see if it's on the horizon. Yeah, so it's going to be around about halfway through the race. We're looking around about sort of 18 to 20 for when the crossover point will probably come. So how far are we going to get on these tyres? So we're definitely going to go race trim. And then it's whether we take the boost early race and start on the mediums, or take it late race when the rain comes. I think we'll hedge our bets. So with Grosjean we'll go with the medium tyres. And with Kevin Magnussen we'll go with the intermediates. Then it's kind of the best of both worlds. At least one of them they should each be strong at different points during the race. So as for tyres, now you see if it comes around about lap 18 to 19 and we look after the tyres, which hasn't been our strong point in this Haas car, then the hard tyres might well make the distance. If not, we're going to have to make 2 stops, and they may as well both be on the soft tyres. But because Grosjean's got that benefit on the mediums, and he can go a bit further on them, I think we'll start Grosjean on the mediums. And we'll take a risk with Kevin Magnussen and start him on the hard tyres and see if he can get to that rain. He's really going to have to look after them. But if he can do, we might just sneak over the line. And mean that we don't have to make a single pit stop until the rain comes. That's the idea anyway. As we know, the theory very rarely works out in the race itself. But here we go then. I think this is round number 8, so we're almost exactly halfway through the season. And it's a cracking start from Grosjean. From Magnussen, sorry, but he got boxed in there. And Grosjean is going to try and make his way around Hulkenberg into turn 1. And he does that, but Gasly's got through in the Toro Rosso as well. And Magnussen is still fighting up there in 11th. So temperature's incredibly hot, 30 degrees out there, so these tyres are going to warm up very quickly, and then we're probably going to have to conserve them. We might get away with neutral on Magnussen, but we'll see once the tyres sort of steady out. We need to keep an eye on the boost as well. So I think we're going to go back to medium and neutral on the cars. And wait for that boost to come out then. And hit it on the button. I might try it the opposite way around this time. I might leave it for Magnussen to use a bit later in the lap. We'll use it straight away for Grosjean, and the rest of the field use it as per usual. So Magnussen will go backwards here. If we use his at the right time, he might gain more than everybody else. Because look, he's bunching all these guys up. And now if we use it maybe on the pit straight, then he might actually gain out more. It'd be interesting to see the difference, to be fair. Right, so on neutral, the mediums look like they want to overheat, but they're okay at the moment. Magnussen's are okay. Let's whack the speed on up, because we know we've got some distance to cover today. And we'll use Magnussen's now. See how this works out, shall we? So that's got him back up to 14th, 13th. Can he get around the outside of the Williams? He does for 12th. And he's about where he was. He's actually managed to get past Carlos Sainz there as well. Off boost. So everything going pretty swimmingly at the moment. And I think we're knocking on up to 4 speed. So there's a little gap developing as per usual. That top 6 are getting away. We've got Lance Stroll pulling away from Grosjean as well. Grosjean, a bit of a roadblock here. Everybody is still using high engine mode. And we did say last time we maybe need to be a bit more aggressive with the engine. I don't know if now is the time though. But everyone does seem to be doing so. So maybe we will go to high engine mode with Grosjean, just see if he can. It's enough to get him away from this little pack. Magnussen will leave on neutral because he's in traffic, and he needs to go a long way in this race anyway. So, oh, those tyres horribly overheating from Grosjean, and I've missed that. Day late and $1 short of that one. So we need to get those temperatures back under control. Grosjean, I'm expecting to have to do a stop for the rain anyway. The rain's actually showing a bit earlier this time. It's showing around about lap 15. So that bears well for Magnussen being able to make it. But Grosjean's going to struggle, I think. And once again, he's just showing his great defensive skills. He's really not on pace with Stroll ahead. But just by holding this group up, he's got Perez and Sainz behind on much quicker tyres. And this could be crucial to his race, how long he can keep these guys behind. So we're going to use his boost on the straight to try and keep Perez behind, so he's making a move there. And Williams' pace worries me. In fact, with 5 seconds behind Stroll on the same tyres, it's not good news. What's Stroll doing? So he's on neutral in both engine mode and tyres. So that's why he's wearing those mediums a bit quicker. I think we need to go back to conserve for Kevin as well. Because although that rain is coming around about lap 15, we don't know how quickly it will come down to the point that we're going to need to put inters on. So, right, we're now back to level on fuel, and it's allowed Grosjean a little gap. He's pulled 2 or 3 seconds on that group behind. A group that Magnussen is currently trying to get through. And he's struggling a bit here, is the K-Mag. So we'll give him a little boost with the energy recovery. And that's managed to get back past Ocon and Massa. Ocon's tyres are done, that's why he's diving in the pits now. So everybody's starting to make their first stop. So I'm fairly confident Magnussen's going to make it to the rain, which is going to be great news for him. Grosjean, it's going to be tight. Now, you see, this is where this lap chart really bugs me up sometimes. The markers are a little bit off. So I think it is going to be around about lap 16, 17, which is going to be too late for Grosjean. I think. Yeah, it's going to be too late for him. So we're going to have to, let's put him on the soft tyres and get him on a charge on fresh tyres. There's not really much I can do about that. It's going to be one of those cases where we just leave them out for so long that the tyres destroy themselves and we lose as much time as if we had a pitted. So let's get him in. Everybody else is pitted anyway. So as long as he has a good stop, he should be back out roughly where he was. No mistakes on the pit stops, that's what we like to see. Use a bit of boost out the pits to defend off Carlos Sainz, and he has got back out ahead of him then. Stroll and Perez ahead. Pitted very early by the look of it. And they're on very warm tyres. This is Grosjean's chance to chase them back down. So this is where we'll use the high fuel, I think. And we'll use the same for Magnussen. Let's see how we go. So Magnussen's a net 6th at the moment. Everybody is now stopped apart from him. And he's having a great race of it. That rain's coming now then. It's going to be another lap or 2 before we're going to need to change tyres. So I think we'll bring in Magnussen first on this lap. There might be enough time, you know, to double stack them, but I don't think this is the right lap just yet. What's the gap between the two of them? About 8 seconds, so if there's no mistakes, then we should be okay. I think I'm going to wait one more lap. Those Inters runners, I mean, Grosjean is still catching Raikkonen, and Raikkonen's on the intermediate, so it's not quite ready yet, so we'll put Magnussen on this lap round. We may as well stop Grosjean as well, I think. It's a little bit of a risk, but I trust my pit crew. They can get the job done, I'm sure. We may as well. I don't know why we're conserving those tyres on either car, really, when they're coming in this time round. So Magnussen will be in first. Needs to be a swift stop, so that Grosjean doesn't get held up as well. Come on, boys. No mistakes. Perfect. Grosjean in. No time lost. 3.6 seconds. No mistakes. Great job from the crew. And we're back out in 8th and 12th then. So it didn't really work out as well as I'd hoped. There's a lot of people that have pitted very early here. And this rain is really not on for a very long time. Until about lap 28, so about 10 laps. Still, we don't want to push these tyres too much, so we'll go back to conserve. But this strategy's worked well. It's worked well for Magnussen. It's kind of roles reversed. Magnussen now 8th behind Stroll, and Grosjean back in 12th and in that little group. He's got a bit of work to do to catch up Massa, Perez and Kvyat ahead. And Magnussen needs to ensure he holds off these guys behind, but at the same time he's catching Stroll now, and he's got much fresher tyres, so this is his chance. Best of the rest is what we're going for, I think, every race now, if we can. So this is your chance, all you K-Mag fans, this is his chance to prove himself. 8th is the minimum finish now. And if he can close down Stroll ahead, that'd be great, but he's struggling. Stroll starting to pull that gap back out again, and Kvyat has caught him up behind. I can't understand how Kvyat is catching him so quickly, considering his tyres are almost done. I guess it's because we're maybe on neutral. We're on conserve, sorry. We're going to have to go back to medium on the engine. I really don't think we need to look after these tyres. We've got a big old chunk of tyre life left, and it's not going to be long before we're going back onto the slicks. So let's use our boost for our two guys. That should give Magnussen some breathing room and hopefully get Grosjean a bit closer to Massa ahead. It's going to be the end of the stint where we've got to do the damage here. Looking at the gap between the two of them, it's around about 5 seconds, so we should be able to double stop again when we go back on to dry tyres, and it's going to be close as to whether it's going to be soft tyres or mediums until the end. Again, we might split the strategies just to hedge our bets, but how are we looking? So Grosjean is slowly chipping away at that gap to Perez. Massa and Gasly have had to stop, and they've gone onto the hard tyres very early here. And Ocon's also stopped for the mediums now. I don't think it's quite time, but it's not far off. Magnussen is... he's lost a tenth to Stroll, that's about it. We'll keep an eye on Kvyat's time compared to Verline ahead. Still seems to be quicker to be on the medium tyres. So I think we'll pull him in this time around. That gap has got a bit bigger between Magnussen and Grosjean, so we should be able to double stop him again. It's going to be about 13 laps to go. I think it's going to be a choice between mediums and hards here. It's going to be close on the mediums. What did we do with Grosjean on the mediums? He did 13 laps last time. I'm fairly confident we can get away with mediums then. So we'll go mediums with Magnussen. I think we might go hards with Grosjean just to try something different. I was going to say he's not in the points, but he is. Let's go mediums with both cars. Let's risk it. I think they can get to the end. How are the cars holding up? Everything looking good. I think we've finally got over our reliability problems. So it'll be K-Mag in first then. Again, big pressure on the pit crew, but I think it's the right lap this time around. So Magnussen in. No mistakes. Grosjean straight in. It's 3.6 for Magnussen. It's 3.7 for Grosjean. So once again, flawless performance from the pit crew. And K-Mag's back out in 10th, but we've still got some intermediate runners to get past. We've got Perez and Hulkenberg still to pit, and I think we're going to jump both of them. So he should be up to 8th here for Magnussen and back in the points. There he goes, into 8th. Grosjean gains 1 position, and he's got a shot at some points here. Massa is not far away. He's trying to get past Perez. It does do, and the boost is enough to get past Massa as well. We've got some fuel to use, so let's use it up early. This is the mistake we've been making the last few races. I think we're going to have to look after the tyres though, just to make sure they get to the end. And Magnussen is all on his own in 8th. Let's use that boost. He's got almost 7 seconds to Stroll, and he's got 3.5 behind to Kvyat. So how's Grosjean? Grosjean's lost out to everybody again. Has he made a mistake there? I think he might have. And it's still 29 degrees out there. That's why these tyres are burning up. Need to get them under control a bit quicker. You can't get past Alonso, Grosjean. You've just lost 3 places. I don't think you're in any position to be going on the offensive or complaining about not overtaking people. Just trying to bring these tyre temps back under control and go back up to conserve. They should make it to the end comfortably, I would hope. Right, go back to conserve. That's lost a bit of time from Magnussen. Grosjean getting back on the attack now. Let's see if we can get him past Alonso into turn 1. We cannot. You see, the thing with Grosjean, he's only a couple of seconds away from some points. But these are the best laps these medium tyres are going to have. 3 cars ahead, Massa, Perez and Alonso, all on the hard tyres. So if he can't do it now, I'm not sure when he's going to be able to do it. And he's really struggling out there. So let's concentrate on Magnussen. He'd lost almost a second to Kvyat there, but he's starting to get everything back under control, and that gap's back up to 2.9 now. So he should have this 8th place under wraps. There's nothing he can do about Stroll, I don't think, ahead. That's far too much of a gap to close down, and he doesn't seem to be quicker anyway. So let's use that boost down, pit straight, just to get him a bit more breathing room. That buys him another second over Kvyat. It really is overpowered, that. And with Grosjean, we will save that all up for maybe a last lap charge to try and get him past. The thing is, I don't know if he's losing time behind Alonso and Perez. Probably not at this point. Because they're on the hard tyres, they're probably a little bit quicker at this stage of the race. Car looking okay. Suspension and rear wing looking a little dodgy, but they should be fine with only 2 laps to go. Fuel's looking fine. Now, yeah, Magnussen's just going to cruise home in 8th, I think. So we need to concentrate on Grosjean now and see if there's anything we can do to get him past the 2 ahead. So there's 2 laps to go. I think we've got the tyre life to probably push now as we move on to the final lap. Magnussen will be fine till the flag. So let's go overtake mode. That's the stupidest time to use the boost I've ever seen. I should have used that down the straight. We may have missed that chance. He's going to give it a go though. And he's got around the outside of Alonso. It's just Perez now. Magnussen complaining about his tyres, but he's fine. He's going to bring home a couple of points. Grosjean trying to make a move on Perez now. He's made that stick, but I think Massa is going to be one step too far as Magnussen crosses the line in P8. Grosjean in P11. And that's a fairly decent result. So it was a strong showing. And those couple of points will be invaluable. It's unfortunately with Williams just ahead of us. I don't think it's going to drastically change our championship position. But we went for such a long time without points that this is crucial, and that'll be crucial for Kevin Magnussen's confidence as well. That's a great result for him, and your faith, UK Mag fans, has been rewarded. He's finally got himself back on the board, and that's 4 valuable points. And Grosjean, he just got stuck behind Alonso and Perez for too long. We maybe could have gone a bit more aggressive earlier in that final stint, but I was a bit worried about the tyre life. Maybe going on to the hard tyres might have been the better option, but it means that K-Mag is now 1 point behind Grosjean then, 15th, 16th in the championship. Doesn't drastically change the table though, because there was decent points for Toro Rosso and Williams there. McLaren don't score, Renault don't score, but the two that were closest to us in the championship were Williams and Toro Rosso. Well, Williams, and they got a whole host of points. We're still 6 points off Renault. We're only 11 points off 5th now, so it is closing back up. And once we get that HQ, which should be ready for the next couple of races, I'm sure we'll be flying and we'll catch that midfield up in no time. But this is going to be the last episode for a little bit then, obviously for the Christmas break. Once again, as I said yesterday in the Motorsport Manager video, thank you everybody for your support this year. It's been a great year, and I'm hoping we can push on next time. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget that like button. If you have just been watching the Haas series, you can always go and watch the Motorsport Manager series over the Christmas break. If you haven't, there's a good old 65 episodes of that now. Subscribe if you're new as well, it means the world. And I hope you guys have a lovely Christmas and New Year. And I shall see you again very soon.